Hello and welcome to the first Sun Racing Dream Team crossover in association with Betway. You may have seen the Dream Team videos with Betway, you may have seen the Sun Racing videos with Betway, and now we have merged the two into one fantastic video. Sun Racing, Betway, Dream Team, all talking about the Cheltenham Festival. I'm delighted to be joined by Sean Burke and Andy Taylor of Dream Team and Chad Yeomans of Betway to discuss the action at the Cheltenham Festival for those who might not know quite as much as the racing expert does. But let's talk about the Cheltenham Festival itself, which of course is the greatest show on turf. Now, guys, I don't know, I think you have been to Cheltenham before, haven't you?
That's right.
In your opinion, what is it that makes Cheltenham so special?
Well, the atmosphere, for starters, you can't beat. I mean, last year was the first time I went, and then I wasn't familiar with the concept of is it the Cheltenham Roar?
The Roar,
kicks
everything off.
Which is great, which is kind of reminiscent of a football stadium in the way. Just everybody goes mad when the first race takes off, from the start of the day. And me, I wouldn't know, like I said, I wouldn't be like a regular bettor, but for something like that, I really got into it. Like for someone who doesn't know that much about horse racing at the start of the day, by the end of it, I was like, come on! I'm so into it.
All of my mates are not really into horse racing, but for some reason, all of my mates go to Cheltenham, and I don't really know why. I mean, that's why I'm hoping to hear from you guys of why Cheltenham and not Epsom or or Aintree. I obviously have been a couple of times myself, and I mean, probably priorities would be Guinness, bets, trying to make money. I don't know what it is about accumulators as well. I love an accumulator because I just feel like,
especially at Cheltenham, because you're going to get an absolutely massive prize.
Yeah, I mean, I never win. Again, but maybe it's because I'm not taking your advice. But
oh no, I think you're more likely to lose when you do that. Do you think you need to know about racing before you go?
No, I don't think so.
You can just pick it up as it goes along. Everyone's kind of telling you what to back and what not to back. And
yeah, exactly. You just, as long as you know the basics, literally how to place a bet, I think you're good to go.
Chad, obviously being our racing expert, what is your opinion on why the Cheltenham Festival is just so special?
It's the fact that it's the Mecca. This is the championship, so you get the best of the best go up against each other at Cheltenham. A lot of horses avoid each other throughout the year, through their trainers say so. They're not personally. But then they all come together and fight at Cheltenham. It's the World Cup, isn't it?
So you guys do a lot of horse racing events.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about seeing us people, people that don't know much about horse racing, tagging along to Cheltenham?
I think it's fantastic.
Is it brilliant that it does get everyone involved?
Yeah, you've got to, especially at Cheltenham, because it is so open to everyone. I think that is what makes it so special, in my opinion. One thing we must emphasise is that you don't have to be there to have a good time. Just switch your TV on or switch your radio on, and you will not miss a thing. I imagine you guys will be watching closely, won't you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Not much productivity going on this week, but I mean, it's not
business as usual.
Yeah.
Really.
Business as usual. Yeah, absolutely. Now, we probably should talk about Cheltenham Festival, the races themselves, because of course they are 4 wonderful races, one on each day. Got the Champion Hurdle on the Tuesday, which is the speed test for hurdlers. 2 miles, blink and you will miss it, is an absolute cracking race. It's the same on Wednesday, but over fences, and that's for the 2 mile chasers. This year sponsored by yourselves, Betway, and looks an absolute cracker. Probably looks the best of all 4 races on each day, I would say. Then on Thursday, you've got the Stayers Hurdle. This year's Paddy Power Stayers Hurdle, which Paisley Park won so well last year and is now the odds-on favourite. And on Friday, it's the Cheltenham Gold Cup, the unmissable Cheltenham Gold Cup, the 3 mile, 2.5 furlong stamina test. It's a real slog. Chad, I'm going to come to you with this.
So the favourite for the Champion Hurdle at the moment is a horse called Epatante. She's a filly, so not many fillies. She's a girl, so not many girls win the Champion Hurdle. But she won a race at Kempton over Christmas, which kind of made her favourite. The fact that she just beat everyone easily.
She runs in the same green and gold colours that A.P. McCoy used to ride in.
Well, his name's A.P. McCoy, right? But what's his actual name? Tony.
Anthony.
Right,
Anthony
yeah.
Patrick.
A friend of mine thought they were 2 separate people for a while.
No, I was always confused, to be fair. It's a bit of a weird one, isn't it? Yeah.
There's a horse called Pentland Hills, who's the second favourite. Won at the Cheltenham Festival last year in a race called the Triumph Hurdle, which is for juvenile horses, young horses essentially having their first season.
Betway Champion Chase, Chad.
This is going to be the race of the festival. This is the one that everyone's talking about in the racing industry. So there's a horse called Altior. You may have heard of Altior. Went 19 runs without getting beat and goes there as the dual winner of the last 2 Betway Champion Chases. So coming for the hat trick. And this isn't done very often.
Yeah, we've got to emphasise how hard it is to win a championship race at the Cheltenham Festival. Not even once, but twice. He's going for the 3rd time. It's so rarely done.
There's a horse called Chaplin Gold Cup, which is trained by Willie Mullins. Willie Mullins has had 61 Cheltenham Festival winners as a trainer. Right. He's the leading trainer, winners upon winners every single year. And there's a horse called Dynamite Dollars, who I quite like, but he's about 20 to 1. It's a big old price.
I like those ones. There you go. Yeah, that's more me.
Yeah.
Thursday is all about Paisley Park, who won the race last year, the Stayers Hurdle.
Keeps on winning. If you look back at Paisley Park's form, you'll just see one, where it just keeps winning. One thing I always try and, when I talk to people about Cheltenham Festival, the undulations in the track, it's not just a plain round track. They go up and down and round the back, and it takes a certain kind of horse to appreciate that and to like that. So if horses act well there, they tend to go well there again. And City Island is about 14-1, so again, that's
Nice little price there.
your kind of price as well.
Sorry, can I ask? You mentioned certain courses that these horses are doing well at. Are there courses in the build-up to Cheltenham that you're looking for a correlation in terms of they've ran well there, they're going to do well at Cheltenham, or is it just a case of, they've done well at any course, they're going to do well here?
Basically, if you send a horse to Cheltenham, you've got to pray that it likes Cheltenham, because so many in the past haven't. They've gone off favourite in Cheltenham races, and they just haven't handled it, and they just disappoint, and they go off to Aintree, which is a very flat track, and they'll be back to their best. So it really is about whether you can handle Cheltenham. Now, most of the best horses handle anything. That's what you'll come to realise.
Different types of grounds, different...
Exactly, and anything.
Yeah.
Cheltenham is very much unique. It is like a course like no other, and of course the hill at the end of it can sort out so many. You've got to be extra tough to get up that final incline, haven't you?
You have indeed, and that leads, I guess, quite nicely onto the Gold Cup.
Indeed.
Which is the main stage that's the showpiece of the week, really, the Cheltenham Gold Cup. It's over 3 miles, 2.5 furlongs. It's a big old test. So Santini's the current favourite. Santini finished third last year, had a really bad preparation last year. Everything that could have gone wrong for the horse did. And he's dancing every dance at the moment, isn't he?
He certainly is.
He's winning whatever he comes up against at the moment, which is good. He's 2 from 2 this season.
We need to talk about racing personalities, because that is just one of the most important things of the festival. Now, 2019 was kind of the coming of age of the female rider. We saw Bryony Frost win the Ryanair Chase aboard Frodon, and we saw Rachel Blackmore from Ireland. But we need to talk about the trainers. So Gordon Elliott, Paul Nicholls, Nicky Henderson and Willie Mullins. If you are looking to back a trainer, just a trainer, you cannot go wrong with those 4, because they will get at least one winner, each of them, probably more than one. And they are the 4 best trainers.
Indeed.
What stands those 4 out? Why are they just far superior over any other?
Oh, that's a question, isn't it?
They have the better horses.
Really, yeah.
They're the better trainers. They've got the bigger yards. They've got the bigger owners with more money who invest more, so they get better younger horses who grow into better older horses, essentially.
Yeah. And it's all about experience as well. I mean, if you've got managers like Pep Guardiola, who's got a wealth of experience now. I mean, it just helps you improve, doesn't it?
Sure.
Yeah, maybe not the case of Jose Mourinho, but now we've got to talk about Sir Alex Ferguson, I should say, because he has got one of the big contenders in the Cheltenham Gold Cup this year, which is Clan Azobo. And I was talking to Chad earlier about, what do you think it would mean more, Sir Alex to win the treble, or Sir Alex to win the Gold Cup with Clan Azobo? I personally, and I think Chad would probably say it as well, that the Gold Cup is much more important, but I'm sure you wouldn't agree, would you?
I mean,
to this day, the treble is kind of legendary achievement, but that's in football circles. I don't know, what would you say?
No, it's just interesting that horse racing is a natural transition almost for a lot of footballers.
That's exactly right. The reason why Michael Owen went from being, top class player, straight out of that, he's gone straight into breeding flat race horses.
Which is quite niche. Breeding horses is quite niche.
It really is, yeah.
I mean, as football fans, I'm not going to say that the Gold Cup's better than Champions League. I'm not mad, come on.
Now, we've got to talk about tipping. Do you want to just quickly run through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday selections?
So in the Champion Hurdle, a horse called Cœur Sublime, 21 with us at Betway, which is a good price. He finished second at the Cheltenham Festival last year in the race behind Pentland Hills.
Okay.
Pentland Hills is about 4-1. Whereas he's 20-1.
At what point do you recommend it each way?
I personally stick with a rule: anything over 5-1, back it each way.
Yeah. Okay. Because I just don't have the money to bet big, so I've got to go on bigger horses.
No, absolutely. Anything over 5-1, back it each way. If it gets placed near enough, going to get your money back. So if he finishes second or third, and he's bigger than 5-1, you're going to get your money back and then some. So obviously, the bigger his price is, the more you'll win.
Do you want to give us the rest of your selections?
Yeah, sure. We'll go with Dynamite Dollars in the Betway Champion Chase.
That's a big old punt, that one.
20-1. Friday in the Gold Cup, I like Album Photo, last year's winner. Again, course form from Willie Mullins' yard, so he's going to be bang right.
Lovely. Well, I'm going to give you 4 as well. Sure. Might as well.
Yeah, while we're here.
Wednesday, as Chad has mentioned, the Betway Champion Chase is such a hot race this year. Altior's going to be so hard to beat, but I'm going to stick with Defi de Soy, the French. Used to be French, but now English raider. I can see him producing a massive run, hopefully just seeing off Dynamite Dollars in the closing stages. On Thursday, Paisley Park. Now, we all want him to win, as I've already said, but I'm going to stick with Emitom each way, because there's a bit of value there. He's about 10-1 mark. And on Friday, I'm going to go with you, Chad, Album Photo. I think he's going to be very difficult to beat in the Gold Cup. He's already been there and done it. And I remember last year, because he had his warm-up at Tremor, everyone else was saying, oh, he can't win. He's only had one run at Tremor. And he goes to the Gold Cup and win. I was singing, that's Tremor at the end of it. But hopefully he can do it again, and we'll be singing the same thing at the end of Friday.
So we've covered like the kind of showpiece races
Sure.
each day. Are there any other like slightly under the radar like tips that you would have?
On the Friday, there's a race called the County Hurdle, 2 mile hurdle race. I like a horse called Aramon. He's quite a big price. It'd be anywhere between 16 to 1-ish, I guess. Right. He's trained by Willie Mullins. Again, another tick. Ran really well at Cheltenham last year. Another tick. And I just think he's been laid out for this race. I think this has been a big target all season. So.
You know, when you're looking at everything to do with the horse, what's the first thing? Are you looking at their form at Cheltenham? Is that your first?
It depends on what race I'm looking at. Each race I have to look at slightly different.
Yeah.
All the handicap races, I do look at how they've performed at Cheltenham since.
So if you keep an eye out for a horse called Asterion Phalange, he won.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah. Blancmange almost. He won in Ireland over Christmas very easily, and has won now 4 out of his 4 starts again for Willie Mullins.
I guess on that, Willie Mullins to be the top trainer.
It's not a bad shout.
It's probably
is
a
it?
good bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's around 6 to 5.
Racing the trainers now.
Absolutely.
These days.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
It's been a great fun doing the first Dream Team Sun Racing crossover in association with Betway, and as I say, hopefully provided you with some winners ahead of the greatest show on turf, the Cheltenham Festival. 4 days of fantastic action, and we'll see you all there soon.
Smashed it.
Lovely. Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Oh, now we use the water.